remember when I was in school as a little kid, there was always a meet the teacher meeting at the beginning of the school year where we would get to know our teacher a little bit more. As homeschool moms and as moms in general, one of our favorite topics of conversation is talking about our kids. I do it, you do it, we all do it. But today, we're going to talk a little bit more about the homeschool mom, me. So I invite you to join us in our Meet the Teacher meeting today. Hello, welcome to My Familia Homeschool. My name is Marissa. I live in Miami, Florida with my husband and my 3 girls. We are a bilingual family that has chosen homeschool as the way that we will educate our girls. On my channel, I love talking about all things homeschool and all things mom life. So if that is something that interests you, don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up to this video. Like I mentioned in the beginning, today is our Meet the Teacher meeting. Today, I'm going to answer some questions so that you can get to know this homeschool teacher a little bit more. This video idea came from a collaboration with Abby from Rooted in Rest and Jessica from the Waldock Way. They do this collaboration each year called the Homeschool Show and Tell. And I'm so excited to be a part of it this year. There's a ton of other moms that are sharing their Meet the Teacher videos. So if you're interested, I will leave Abby and Jessica's profiles as well as the playlist link in the description. So let's get started. The first question on the list is introduce yourself. So I kind of did that in the beginning, but hi, my name is Marissa. We live in Miami, Florida. We are a bilingual family, English and Spanish. I was born in Kansas, but grew up in Mexico. My parents were missionaries there. That's why I speak Spanish. My husband is from Colombia. We met at Bible school in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and moved to Miami a little bit over 5 years ago. We are campus pastors of a church here in Miami. The main campus is in Bogota, Colombia, where my husband is from, but they also have a campus here in Miami. We are a homeschooling family, like I mentioned. I have 3 daughters. Abby is 6, Ellie is 4, and Orly is 10 months old. The next question is, how long have you been homeschooling? And I always get tripped up on this question. I really don't know. So last year was our first official year of homeschooling. It was the first year that we had to declare our intent to homeschool. But we've really been homeschooling from the beginning. I started doing more intentional learning activities with Abby, my daughter, when she was about 2.5, because that's when the pandemic started and I was finally home full time with my girls. But really, I think a lot of that is just parenting, just being a mom. But I would say that's when we first started exploring the thought of homeschooling. But I really don't have a moment where I say today we started homeschooling. Within that time, we talked about it, we made the decision that this is what we were going to do, but we've really been homeschooling from the beginning. Do I have a homeschool style? The way that I always answer this question is we're eclectic. I like to try a little bit of everything. I love trying out new curriculum, new resources. There are so many good things out there that I just don't want to put myself in a box. But I would say the philosophy or the homeschool style that I most relate with would be Charlotte Mason. But I'm not even close to being a purist. I love literature-based education. I love using books as the spine of what we learn. I love using books to extend what we are learning in the curriculum that we have chosen. I love literature-based curriculum. So like I said, eclectic with the love of books. What is your favorite subject to teach? Now this one has come as a huge surprise to me. When I was growing up, I hated history. I remember when I was in high school, I rewrote literally all of my notes that I had taken that whole semester in preparation for our final, and I still failed it. It just didn't work. The facts wouldn't stick. The dates wouldn't stick. The numbers wouldn't stick. The names wouldn't stick. I didn't work with my brain. But now, as a homeschool mom, history is my favorite subject. And I think it is because I discovered that you can teach history through stories. So last year we used the Peaceful Press and taught history using the Little House on the Prairie books. This year we are using Knotgrass's 50 State Study, and there are so many good books that connect to that. And their textbooks, which I wouldn't even call them that, are such a great story-based approach. So I would say history, surprisingly, is my favorite subject to teach as a homeschool mom. If I could choose only 3 homeschool tools, what would they be? Well, number 1, no doubt, would be a library card. I think with a library card, you could have a really great homeschool without paying a penny. We consistently have our limit of about about 50 library books out. I order them online and weekly go and pick up our big old pile of books. We're well known at our library. I love it so much. My next favorite homeschool tool would be those notebooks, the primary notebooks that have the big square at the top to draw a picture and the lines at the bottom to write out a sentence. I love using these for written narration. So last year when we would read through, for example, one of the chapters in our Little House in the Prairie book, I would ask Abby what she remembered from the book. She would tell me, I would write down the sentence that she said, and then she would copy it and make an illustration of what she wrote. And I really loved using these notebooks to do that. Number 3 would be some great watercolors. I love using watercolors to do illustrations, to do art, to do all the things, and I love them so much because they don't make a mess. You can get them on the table, you can get them on the floor, you can get them on your shirt, and it is so easy to just wipe up with the towel. Unless the water cup tips over, that's a mess, but I guess it's just water. What inspires you as a homeschool mom? I think I have 2 answers to this question. So one thing that really inspires me as a homeschool mom is listening to other homeschool families, seeing what they're doing, seeing what they're using, seeing their ideas, seeing the way that they teach their kids. I get so many ideas and inspiration from watching other homeschool families. And my second, and still just as important homeschool inspiration would be remembering what our end goal is. It's so easy to dive in and be so engrossed by the day-to-day tasks that we forget what our end goal is as a homeschool family. So when I step back and remember this is why we chose to homeschool, it is a great motivator and inspiration to keep on going. Are you an early bird or a night owl? Well, I think I'm kind of both. One thing that I definitely don't do well as a mom, just taking care of myself, is get enough sleep. So I get up early because I need to, because I have to. I work from home, so I do that before my girls wake up, but also just for my mental well-being, it's really good for me to have that time to drink my coffee in silence, in the dark, while I work. But also after the girls go to bed, it's really common that I get busy, that I start doing things. Sometimes it's things that aren't productive at all. Other times I am being productive and I end up going to bed a lot later than I probably should. What is your favorite teacher treat? Coffee, 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 coffee. There is no doubt that my favorite teacher treat is coffee. Fun fact, my husband actually used coffee to lure me in before we were even dating. When we were going to Bible school together, he would bring me a huge thermos every day of coffee. And I didn't know how to make coffee. Before this, I didn't even like coffee. And to be nice, I would drink this coffee and I started to like it, but I didn't know how to make it. So it made me dependent on him for my coffee every day. Now sometimes he makes comments about how much coffee I drink, but I just tell him that it's his fault. Do you prep and plan, or do you go with the flow? So I've talked about on my channel before that I've tried to use all the planners and it just doesn't work with my personality. Maybe it's just this season of life, maybe it will work in the future, but I just am never consistent with it. But I do have a pretty well organized plan in my head. So I do plan, but in my head, 4 things that we're going to do each week or each day. I have that, but up here. And that has worked for me so far. A lot of our curriculum that we use, we're able to open it and doesn't require a lot of prep. One thing that I do the night before is that I take out some independent things that my daughter can do when she wakes up. Just start working on the tasks of the day while I'm getting ready or finishing up work. But we are also very go with the flow, so I don't have a daily schedule that we follow hour by hour. We do have a routine, things that we do first, second, third, fourth, but it is very go with the flow. If something comes up, if something changes, that's okay. What is something you really enjoy outside of being a homeschool mom? Coffee. No, but other than coffee, I would say for the past almost 2 years now, I have been making content here on YouTube and over on Instagram, and it really has become a great creative outlet that I really enjoy. Now, I know I create content about homeschooling, but it's separate from my duties as a homeschool mom because I am not with my children right now. And this is something that I've really grown to enjoy. I hope you enjoyed getting to know this homeschool mom a little bit more today. Like I said, don't forget to go follow Jessica at The Waldock Way and Abby at Rooted and Rest. And if you want to get to know a whole bunch of other homeschool moms, I will leave the link to the whole playlist in the description. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe so you can join us in the future with My Familia Homeschool.